Abduction of Souleymane Gbagbo Koné in France. A banana republic at the service of African dictators. Ouattara makes the law, MACRON executes, and democracy dies. The Souleymane Gbagbo Koné affair is an absolute disgrace for France. A man abducted, in broad daylight, by masked squads operating on French soil on behalf of the criminal regime of Alassane Ouattara. This is what happens in a country that boasts of being the cradle of human rights. France experienced the 1789 revolution, was the birthplace of the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, and claims to be the guardian of democratic values. But in 2025, silence and complicity reign supreme. The very symbol of France, Marianne, is so ashamed of this situation that she has probably pulled her Phrygian cap down over her eyes to avoid witnessing such a dictatorship unfold. How can a supposed world power allow foreign militias to kidnap opponents on its own soil without reacting? How can we accept that a parallel police force, acting on behalf of a bloodthirsty African regime, carries out its dirty work unhindered? These events are of extreme gravity, raising a fundamental question. Is France still a sovereign state, or has it become a mere banana republic, where African dictators rule the land? A place where dictators operate freely, abducting activists and opponents at will. Either way, such an act could not have happened without the complicity of the French authorities. Either they knew about it and did nothing, or they actively collaborated in these illegal operations. In both cases, it is an absolute betrayal of the principles France claims to uphold. When a country turns a blind eye to such practices, it ceases to be a democracy. And let's be clear, under Emmanuel Macron, France has become a full-fledged dictatorship. It was Alassane Ouattara himself who ordered this spectacular abduction, just as he did with activist Steve Biko in Mauritania. The same modus operandi, the same brutality, the same desire to eliminate dissenting voices. It is an organized system, a true transnational repression machine unfolding before our eyes. Under Emmanuel Macron, France is no longer a refuge for African dissidents but a living hell. African political opponents like Franklin Nyamsi and Nathalie Yam are hunted down daily. These practices are reminiscent of the darkest hours of the Inquisition, where every dissenting voice was silenced by repression and censorship. France, which once lectured the world on democracy, is now reviving medieval methods. Political persecution, intimidation, the hunt for opponents, and a witch hunt orchestrated by the Élysée and its African minions. One would have thought that the lettre de cachet had been abolished since the French Revolution. Yet today, a simple order from above is enough for an African opponent to be expelled, arrested, or silenced. This drift is unworthy of a nation that claims to be the land of enlightenment. Under Macron, France has shifted towards authoritarianism, betraying every principle it pretends to defend. Has France become a lawless land where criminal regimes can operate as they please? Where is sovereignty? Where is the rule of law? If an opponent can be abducted in France by foreign henchmen, then no one is safe anymore. Today, it is Souleymane Gbagbo Koné. Tomorrow, who? Journalists? Whistleblowers? Ordinary citizens? Faced with this downward spiral, silence is complicity. The Ivorian diaspora must rise up and demand answers from the French government. Human rights defenders must demand accountability. French citizens themselves must understand that their country is sinking into a mafia-like system where foreign interests dictate the law. France, once respected, is now a laughingstock. It has fallen from being a great democratic power to a playground for African dictators. If France accepts this without flinching, then it is no better than the very regimes it claims to oppose.
Là où règne le mensonge, il impose la vérité. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Il impose la vérité, Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Là où règne le mensonge, il impose la vérité. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Là où règne le mensonge, il impose la vérité. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Là où règne le mensonge, il impose la vérité. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Là où règne le mensonge, il impose la vérité. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Là où règne le mensonge, il impose la vérité. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Chris Yapi ne ment pas. Où règne le mensonge, il impose la vérité.
Chris Yapi does not lie. Find Chris Yapi on his 2 YouTube channels, his Rumble channel, his TikTok, X, Instagram, VK and Threads accounts.